What's going on, my nail friends? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Mary Rosie and you've reached Mary Rosie Dips. In today's video we are doing a 4th of July manicure and we're using some dips from Secret Sisters Dips. The first blue one was American Idiot and then this one is American Girl. That silver one is like a it's got larger pieces of glitter, medium pieces of glitter, some foils, some shimmer. Or not foils, just, I don't know, you'll see, it's easier to explain. And then we're going to be doing the gel method. I've been getting dip flu recently, even though I don't do dip much anymore. For whatever reason, I've been getting dip flu. I don't know if it's just my allergies on top of it, but either way, it is what it is. So we are doing this mani using Igel Beauty's gel base, nice and thin. And typically I do pour over when I'm using the gel method, but my nails are nice and short, so I figured let's try doing it this way. If it works, it works. If not, whatever. So I am actually lightly dipping into the jars and I don't have any issues. So with the gel method, I like to do a couple of nails and then go in and either fully cure them or flash cure them and then move on and continue the rest of my design. Here I decided to do American Idiot, that blue shimmer on my pinky and my thumb. This mani is also going to have a Waterslide decal that you saw there in the beginning from Pampered Pretties. And so here Igel Beauty's gel liquids are super duper thin, so that's why I'm able to go in there and just lay my nail into it instead of having to pour over. I have not cured yet, which is why I went back in there. Here we are curing. I think I do end up curing for the 30 seconds. And then we'll move on to using American Girl. For this mani, I also did end up only doing one layer of each of these colors. And then the other color that I pull out here shortly, I think I only did one layer of that as well. And so if you notice, I actually went in with my nail right into the jar for this glitter. Typically for like the last 4.5 years, I've laid my nail down flat into a cupcake liner. And really for no reason at all, I went right into the jar. And I was going to take it out of the video and then I was like, why? I did it differently this time, and I did find that I had much more glitters hanging off of the edge by doing this. But even though that happened, I literally went and did the exact same thing with the other one. So I was just trying it, something new. It didn't do anything in particular that I really didn't like, so I did it again. Again, this is a gel method using dip powders, so I did not cure my index finger, so you just got to make sure that you don't bump it. But I'm putting my nail, kind of laying it in the jar there, and we'll clean up the edges, make sure everything is all lined up and off of my cuticles before I cure it. And you see here, I am patting it down. That I've always done. I find that if you put in the work and make it as flat as possible in the beginning, then you will have less work to do later on as far as buffing and filing. So I'll let you guys watch. And once everything is fully cured, then you're just going to go in with a fluffy brush and remove any excess glitter, powder, whatnot, maybe hanging around. Even though this is gel, I don't like to take a stiff brush to the bigger glitters just because I don't want to risk them coming off. I do have peel base, and you don't want them to get all lumpy bumpy again, and then you'll have to do more work. And then since I'm going to be doing the Waterslide decal on this nail, I do want to make sure that I have a white or creamy base. I've been doing a lot of glitters under my Waterslide decals as well, but since I already have glitters on those two nails, I am going in with this color called In the Mood. It's just a creamy shimmery color, and I think I do 2 layers of this one. Yes, whichever. 1 or 2 layers, doesn't matter. I think I only do 1 layer because I do 2 layers of the other ones. And then we'll be ready for our mani. Whenever I do the gel method, I typically will do an encapsulation with gel base, cure that, then gel top coat and cure that, so you get a nice thicker layer where you can buff and file and shape your nail. And then I remove all the excess powder from buffing and filing, and then I do gel base, cure that, and then gel top coat, which is what you saw me do on my thumbnail here. It is the Igel Beauty Gel Top Coat. The other nails that have dip powder already had the gel base and gel top coat on it. And then we will get on to doing the Waterslide decal. This is the water decal that we're using, and I think a long time ago I did gel dip method or whatnot, and then I added a Waterslide decal on top, and it didn't work for me, although there are very many people who say and do Waterslide decals over like gel base. I've never really paid attention how they do it. I was trying it on here because my ring finger has gel base. I cured it. I don't know if that's the step that I messed up, but typically I will do it with Maniology sticky base coat, let that dry, and then put it on with a stamper. Well, people have told me, well, it works the same with gel base. So I decided to try it here and keep the recording in there. Spoiler alert, it does not work for me. It did exactly what it did years ago when I first tried Waterslide decals, and I did it this way a couple of times, and obviously it didn't work for me, so I gave up on it. I put my stuff away for several months until I did a little bit more research, and then I found the Maniology sticky base and a stamper pad are actually what work for me specifically. So I went and I think I put gel base on my ring finger right now, and I'm curing it. Again, you just take whatever Waterslide decal it is that you are using. I cut that specific one out, and then I've been moving things around in my nail room, and I cannot find my other little container that's a little bigger than this one. So of course the decal doesn't fit, so I'm squishing it down there so it can get wet, and that way I can have the whole thing separate appropriately. Either way, once again, it doesn't work for me, but I still use the same cup the second time when I go and do it again. So here, I typically will just let it sit for, I've never actually counted. It's probably 15 to 20 seconds for it to actually start separating from the backing paper, I guess. And I have a set of tweezers, which I can't find, which is why I took it out with my hand. Either way, I was squishing it in there anyway. A stamper, a jelly stamper, and Clearly, I stayed off camera. Here we go. And then you will slide the backing paper off the back. Now, depending on the size of the actual water slide, I dry off the back. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. But basically, you look through the stamper pad, through the actual jelly stamper, so you can get positioning of where you actually want it to go. Here, I was thinking it was going to work. No way. It was the biggest catastrophe ever with gel base for me. So I ended up just peeling it off and buffing out that nail so that I can put my sticky base coat on it. So I'll let y'all watch for a minute. And then I applied Maniology sticky base coat to the nail. And I was actually going to try to use the same water slide. And then I realized I don't know which one's the top and which one's the bottom because I took it off and just randomly placed it down. So no clue. So that one's going in the trash. And the new one here is actually a different one. I picked a different design. It doesn't really matter. All of it still matches with the mani that I'm doing anyway. So again, take your scissors, cut it out along the edge. I've seen some people cut it out a little bit bigger around the edge and leave more white. Honestly, it really is just personal preference how you want to cut it. I just like to cut it along the edge because my nail's not that big anyway, so it's just more excess for me to remove in the end. And then we're going to put it in that little teensy tiny cup again, and I will squish it in there a little bit to get it to separate from the backing. And our sticky base coat by now is pretty dry and still tacky because that's the whole point of it. So then we'll do the same thing we did, is pull that out of there, put it on a jelly stamper, kind of push off, rub off the backing so that it comes off easier. And then we will be applying it using the jelly stamper just like before, except now it's going to be a little bit easier to stick. Again, I hadn't tried that application with the gel base in forever, years. And clearly it still doesn't work for me, so I won't be trying that again, which is fine. I've got plenty of sticky base coat, and push on it, and that's pretty stuck on there. So then I'm going to take my smudgy brush that is on my shop, and we are going to take some acetone and just clean up the edges. I find that acetone cleans off the edges much better than alcohol for me because it melts the actual water slide. So the water slide just kind of melts when you tap it, and that's what I want, is for it to melt so it doesn't drag off the water slide with it. once the water slide is all cleaned up and melted off on the edges, then I'm going to take gel base and go right over the water slide decal. I do recommend that you wait for it to dry if it isn't nicely dried. If it has any wet spots, you can dab it off with a napkin if you want to, or just wait. Nothing's going to happen if you wait. Just make sure your hands are not getting wet. You're not rubbing it all over the place. Easiest thing is make sure that it's dry, because if not, your gel base will actually get bubbles in it. So cure that for 30 seconds, and then I'm going right in with my gel top coat. We apply it, cure that for 30 seconds. And this is what the manicure looks like once everything is nice and top coated. Came out beautiful, and we're going to finish that off as always with some CandiSkinCare Cuticle Oil. Just apply that all over the cuticles, and I like to put it all over my hands. Any excess, I just end up rubbing on my elbows and up my arms. This CandiSkinCare scent, it smells like pina colada is what I think it smells like, and what my clients have said when I get their nails all oiled up. Thank you all so much for watching. I really do appreciate you. We will see you on the next one. Bye.